back in session.
You're on.
Okay. Next. Al, anything more on your?
No,
We're
not
going
bro.
straight to Pete.
Straight to Pete, we're good to go.
Straight to Pete, all right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Okay, let me start off with, let you guys know that I've been working with the city of El Paso on getting some of our culverts cleaned out in the downtown area. They have cleaned out the Piedras culvert, and they're working now on the Copia and Eucalyptus. From there, I'm gonna bring them down to Pasco, time permitting. So what they do is they pretty much go under the bridges and just clean everything out, haul everything out of them.
Hey,
Uh,
yes, thanks, I saw the pictures, I'm like, wait, how did this happen? But yeah, thanks for,
Yeah, that's something I try to work on every year, so.
well, they're doing a good job too, so that's great, gracias, Pedro.
Item named, well number 1, last month I reported that had gone down. We have found a problem. It broke loose from the top, from the column pipe, the last piece broke off, so then it stripped. So we had to go in there and replace the top section, which is about a 2-foot section, 52 inches actually.
Shaft.
Shaft. Yeah, that runs the pump itself. And so we have repaired it and it's up and running.
Good.
So it's ready to go. We got 2 other ones that we gotta work on the main. Again, one of them being the what we call the salty dog. So once we pull it, we'll evaluate it and then we can decide whether we wanna rebuild it or we wanna abandon it.
And it's just the pump?
We don't know. We need to pull it out. We need to pull it out to see exactly what went wrong with it.
Okay.
So the one that broke off, was that the water line? About 20 feet
No,
down?
he said.
It was about
Very
52
top.
inches down. It's the last little section on the top.
So is it?
I don't know why that broke.
Yeah,
That's
it-
weird.
We didn't lose it.
It started vibrating and it stripped the threads on it.
Just came loose?
And it came loose, yeah. So we just had to make another 52-inch piece of a pipe, reinstall it, and it's up and running. I'm
And
gonna
this is
go
an oil lubricated, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So next week, I'm planning on starting it probably on Monday. Need to get with Robert, make sure he's gonna have water in there. Starting on Monday to see if maybe we can redevelop it and get some of that sand out of there.
Okay.
So we'll run it just for maybe 3-4 days. Okay, now to my,
Photo slides.
yes, okay, so I'll start off with the drains within the city of El Paso. And I'll go through them pretty quick.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, this is the Montoya, this drain always has water in it. Over by the Sunland Park Drive, it backs up real bad. So this section of the drain always has water in it.
That's not the water table, right?
No, this thing's always got water in it. This is a little bit further back, over closer to Sunset. You can see where the walk path is at. That's right by Riverbend.
Just doesn't have a natural.
No, and then,
Fall, or is it flat, or what?
No, I think what happened here, well, first of all, one of the problems in the river, there's actually a concrete barrier right in the outlet to keep water from backing up from the river into the drain, so it never really drains. That water's always, it's a pool, in other words.
It never goes into.
Never drains into the river.
Was that just? It's gonna be a new civic center over there for some land park. You're kidding.
And so, this is almost behind the racetrack.
Yeah, that is groundwater level.
Right here by the racetrack, but again, like I said, in the river, it never drains into the river. It'll never drain into the river.
That's
It
where
backs it up, it
That's where
pulls
the
it.
bedrock is, though, when it comes in from Mount
Yes.
Crystal Ray and all that stuff.
Yes, yeah, that area, yes. See, that's behind the racetrack. This is the Mesa drain. This year, I got a call from the city of El Paso. I believe they were gonna have a city rep visiting an area by the park, so we wanted it nice and clean, so we went in there and cleaned it up.
That's all it takes is a phone call.
All it takes is a phone call.
I'm gonna call you about making out.
Okay, so, you know what, you notice I'm ignoring you? This is the drains within or outside the city limits. This is also the Mesa drain right below Horizon. And a before and after picture. And then this here is over by the Alamo Alto drain by, I believe it's called, or by Torneo High School. I can't remember the name of the street. But here we've got a lot of thick brush. So here I didn't want to bring my mowers in here and turn them up with the thick branches and the thick trees that are in there. And it's kind of an idea to what it looks like. So we brought in the brush cutters with the D8. We're brush cutting this drain. And I have gotten several calls from different water users down there in the Tornillo area wanting to make sure we hit their drain before we leave the area, so.
Yeah, our drains,
Yeah, so with that. As you all know, we kind of got away from the brush cutters here for, I guess, over 10 years ago, and just here recently I was given the green light to reuse them, so. Once we go through there with the brush cutters, I'll bring an excavator in and get all the debris that's inside the channel and pull it out.
That's not a rotary mower, is it?
No, actually, what that is, it's a brush cutter, it's just some big wheels that we pull behind the
I have
D8.
not seen it. It's like
I was gonna say, you need those down by my house, yeah.
Yes.
Those,
Yeah, we're planning on doing the whole Tornillo area, because it is, it's not worth taking my mowers down there and tearing them.
Yeah, no, you'll tear them.
So we are doing some turnout repairs. This is there on the tail end of Franklin, the goalpost checks. We are repairing turnouts and also a couple of culverts that are failing. This is just right across the turnout that you all just saw. So here the pipe corroded. You can see it on the opposite end. And here's the work that went into it. So we did 2 sack it to see if maybe we can prolong the pipe and kind of go back in there and redo it. That's the old goalpost checks on the Franklin Canal. This one here is on the Franklin Canal at Yarborough. This gentleman, one of his main concerns for the past couple of years is that turnout sits too far back, so it's always silted up and then he picks up a lot of trash. So what we did is we went in there and brought that turnout out by 8 feet. So we put a section of pipe right about 8 feet, and we'll be pouring that concrete tomorrow. That's where we open cut the Franklin Canal. This is over by the Tornillo area, the T216, where a flume also failed. So we're in there and replace that flume. And then of course the winds, all they do is bring problems. So here we had some trees that actually fell on top of a mobile home. Luckily there was no damage done. So we had to coordinate with El Paso Electric so they can cut the power off. So we go in there and cut these trees off. Then we move over to the Montoya Main. This is the Montoya Main. I think I showed you guys some pictures last month. We are already shotcreting this area. So they're doing the right bank as we speak. We're gonna have to go back and do some repairs on the left bank because we did get some cracking on the concrete.
Sir, is that part of the grant with Bureau of Reclamation?
I believe so, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's yours, yes, thank you, Woody.
So this is, we've already started on the right bank. We should be completed with the right bank, I'm thinking probably by tomorrow, if not by Monday, it should be completed. Then we'll move downstream below Mulberry. Then this one here is the riverside, where we also lined the riverside. We did the last 1,000 feet this year. And just to show you that the Tapancos, everything has been cleared out of the riverside and it is ready for water, so.
How much you got left on there that we plan to do? Pete, I know you told me about 3 times.
On the riverside, we still lack, what do you think, about maybe 10 miles?
Yeah, probably at least, yeah.
At least 10 miles?
Like,
Of lining, yes. This is just right downstream from Walcott. And you can see the end of the lining there. There was the drain. Now, these places here, we actually buried some pipe to make some crossovers for the cement trucks to bring them into the riverside. And then the Socorro Ponds, I'm gonna kind of walk you as, through from the Partidor all the way to the ponds. This is right at the Partidor, looking at it upstream. You can see the heading of the new canal that was built, right in the center. So we did install that turnout, ran pipe 100 feet downstream from there into that canal you see there between the gates. Those gates, we shotcreted 30 feet below to keep any kind of erosion. That's just downstream from the concrete. And then we did a 25-foot slab there for the river team, so they can go ahead and install a metering bridge there. And then this is closer over by the river. And this is actually the discharge that goes into that last pond. Also shotcreted, keep erosion, turn out on the other side so we can keep water from coming back into the ditch if needed. Even though DEL designed it to where pretty much going to be impossible to break that canal. But if we ever,
It's a dead level system, so.
yeah, so if we ever need to do any kind of work on the canal, we can actually close the heading and close the pond to where we don't lose any water from either source.
So it shuts itself off as the pond fills.
Right. So there's the pond. It's already nice and clean, ready for water.
wow.
Just
Robert
looking at
told
that.
us to make an order.
Yeah. Yeah, so Robert don't want to give you any water to put in there, so.
So I got with Rose and we have like 300 acres of water rights there at the pond.
Yes.
So I'll let you guys deal with Robert. But that's the turnout to keep the water from going back into the ditch.
No. We don't want to use any water, we just want to test it.
It's 1 out of 3.
That's another picture of the
Yes,
pond.
1 out of, yeah, 1 out of 4 or 3? 1 out of 3 ponds, 4 ponds?
Out of
We're-
4. Out of 4.
Four.
That's 1 out of 4.
We think we can add 2 ponds to it pretty fast.
Very quick, yes.
So-
Yeah, and I'll show you some pictures on what it looks like right now. I just need Al to make sure that, I guess he does some calculations and make sure we don't need to remove any kind of sand from there.
Okay.
So you're thinking we can use 3 of the existing ones?
Well,
We can make.
we've got survey data for the whole place, I need to run the calcs and stuff. I think we temporarily, I don't know how much is gonna be lost to evaporation, but, we want to get a seepage number too, because the more we spread it out, there's a couple of, but, yeah, it looks like he's gonna present it to you. It looks like
Right.
with the existing infrastructure that's in there, we can open up 2 more ponds
2 more.
without any problem. With minimal cost, we're talking a couple of $1,000s.
Yeah, minimal cost. It's very minimal. Okay, so this is the turnouts that went into the ponds. This is the one that will discharge into the riverside. So that whole old structure was removed. He's looking at the back side of it. So we left that little lip there, just in case you guys are wondering why I would leave a section there. If I ever need to go in there and work on those turnouts because of any debris getting stuck on them or anything like that, I can always just drop the banco right in front of that and get into those turnouts to repair them.
I thought it was for fishing.
No, that's,
I got my rods. That's why we have a GPS system.
I don't have one yet.
so here we did shotcrete the outlet also. That's what it looked like after we did.
Wow.
We had to drop that pipe in the drain to run the pipes over the drain to get to that riverside. And there the pipes go into the riverside. We also broke that wall out to take those pipes all the way out to the riverside. And then we build another head wall there to keep water from the riverside from coming into that area. There's been backfilled and ready to go.
So it's all gravity and no lifts.
It's all gravity. Okay, so this is one of the ponds that we were speaking about. You know, it's very minimal work that needs to go into them. There's actually 2 ponds that all I would need is to remove 2 piles of debris, and there's 2 piles of sand which are fairly small. Those are the 2 piles of debris I need to remove, and then there's a couple of sand pits. Now this one here is the very first pond. This is the one that's gonna really take a little bit more time and more work, because all those dividers that are in the middle need to be demolition. Or we can leave them, but I would recommend it.
Well, yeah, this one's, we're not gonna do this one, right?
No, this one needs a lot of work still.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of money involved in that one, so that one's not, that's the 4th pond that we're not proposing.
So that's the same pond there.
How big are these ponds?
The first 3 are about the same size. I mean, they're fairly close.
35, I think.
35 acres.
Yeah. This one here, it's a little differently shaped, so I really wouldn't be able to tell you what this one here will hold.
It's probably, I don't think 50, I think it's big, quite big.
Probably, yeah, because it seems to be longer, it's just shaped different.
We don't know if we have the elevation issues and some other things on them. The ponds aren't all the same elevation, so.
So those other ponds, the feeders, I'm gonna call them, that lead into that last pond are above the ground. So that's what I'm saying, we're ready to start working on them, if needed. Because they're already below the grade of the discharge that's going into the next pond. It's just a matter of whether.
Yeah, there's just some dead pool problems with them. They're equalizers, so they weren't ever meant to completely drain the canal like we wanted to. So we'll work with it. We're just, I mean, first thing we gotta get the first cell tested and see what the seepage is, and then but, you know, it's such a little amount of money, it's a good, I think we'll move within this year on looking at putting them into use for the winter. That's when they're mainly. But I'm a little nervous that we're gonna trap water in here without lowering some of those turnouts that are equalizers that are in there. And probably we can't lower them because of the concrete base, we probably gotta replace them, right? So then that would add a significant, and we're back in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So with the work we did to the Socorro ponds, the board had allotted me $400,000 of material to do the work. And we actually spent $246,894. So we do have some money left over from the $400,000 originally given.
Yeah.
If you guys wanna
Think
put it
about-
into
think
the other
about
2.
those next 2 ponds. Yeah. Okay. Good idea.
And that's all I got, gentlemen.
Thank you, Pete.
What do you
That's
do with all
great.
the dirt that you're taking out of the bottom? You adding it to the banks or what?
No, it's very sandy. So what I'm doing is outside of the ponds, I've got some good clay soil. So I'm digging pits and I'm taking the good clay soil out and then putting the sand into the pits.
So the deeper it is, the less evaporation, but more seepage, right?
We don't, well, yeah, the more head on it, the more seepage, but I really have, historically, since it was used for clarification, that means that there was a lot of biological activity, is that the right way to word it? It wasn't sewage pond. It's the correct way to word it. They tend to seal over time, but we don't know if we were trying to be careful not to disrupt the seal.
Right.
Right.
So we're just waiting to see about the seepage issue.
Yeah, so we just remove the.
What's
the
nice
top.
about it is we have an interceptor drain on 2 sides, the downstream sides, the down dip sides. So if it does leak, we're gonna see water being produced into those interceptor drains, and at least it won't have any trespass issues. So we're so that's good, that's a good.
Yeah, so we're only removing the, I guess, the blow sand that's blown in there over the years.
Yeah, that's what we hope with it, and, so we think it'll seal up.
I'm sorry?
What can you do with that low sand
He buries it. So
Yeah, that's
we're
what
just
we're
putting it
doing.
over on the other parts of our
Nothing.
that you're digging out?
Yeah, we use the clay for fixing other things, and 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 ultimately, if they see too much, they'll be digging up all that clay and put it back into the pond.
Right.
They'll be removing more stuff and replacing it with clay, which is pretty expensive, but at
Well,
least
I
they
got
have clay.
I got, what, 300 acres there that I could. do some
He's got about
things.
100 acres outside of it. I mean, in the final design, we're gonna put all that into, except for 30 acres into production. But right now, we're just trying to do the most with the
Give a
least.
little bit, yeah.
Most of what we got.
Yeah, with what we got.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you, sir.
Well, there's Robert, okay, 4 foot.
There you go.
Look at that, you gave your name back.
For a while. I'll take 40/80 back to those. 2 inches, don't go too far.
No,
Just got a text from James and the board said that they were gonna go with the 12th
No, great.
and the first on Hatch. So,
first on the hatch, Green's over there,
yeah,
yeah. So,
that's a done deal.
Did you hear that, Sam?
15th, is that what it said?
No, I missed it.
Well,
No?
I got a text from James,
For us?
he was in the board meeting, and the board agreed that they're gonna go with 12 with us
Okay.
to release, and then, but they're gonna release the array on the first.
Well,
Good enough.
I was gonna say, if you're trying to leave at
Yeah, I'm gonna
11:30,
walk out. You got it, Robert?
Just real fast, return flow, we're covering up to right now 15,000 acres, we're moving pretty good with it, seems like we're covering a little over 5,000 acres, a month. And the cotton really slowed us down in March, because they were taking well over an acre an hour, up to an hour and a half per acre. And they were doing a little bit more than 2 inches, but, you know, that's what we agreed from the very beginning, and it worked out. Now we're back to the cotton, and we're moving with the water pretty fast. This weekend, we were able to get unit Cedesal out of, the Cenelli out of the way. We got everybody out with the Cedesal now. We'll wipe that one out. The clint's kind of been wiped out. So we're unit 9. We're coming real fast. And I'm thinking right now, the release the first in May. Well, we still got 6,000 acres still on order, and it's gonna take us to about that time to wipe them out. Like a good example, you just got through, Art, when do you think you're gonna need water again? About the middle, you're gonna need it about May.
about the middle of May, yeah.
Yeah, so the way it's pointing right now, the release is gonna help the pecan people, because what I see now, they're all leaning toward the middle of May. You know, I just got through with Jody, I got through with Chase, they're all gonna be in the middle of March. So I think it's gonna work out great. I don't know what you want to think, but, you know, I've been called by some farmers in Unit 7 because they heard about the early release, and they said, can you use some wells to clean out some canals and maybe help us out? I said, I don't know. I think using the wells for a couple of 2 weeks to help me flush out the heat would have been a great deal, but, you know, I don't want to do it without, you know, if it's okay with everybody.
With board and everything.
Yeah, just using those. It'd be nice to have at least like the Isla fleshed out before the water season gets down here. That way, because Unit 8, Unit 9 is pretty well fleshed out. When the water gets here, it gets here by the 15th, you know, less than 10 days, we'll start small tracks. So that's something to think about.
Well, that's kind of a management thing, really, Robert, I mean, we
Okay.
work to get it, you know.
Well, in the past,
You discuss that with our engineer
in
here.
the past, we always used the wells about 2 weeks prior to
Yeah.
release to help us flush out the canals. And I'm thinking of getting with Pete and maybe helping me out there, because I believe Pete likes to fire up wells that we haven't used nothing in Unit 7 for almost,
It sounds good to me, but that's
A year.
management, I'm not gonna we're not gonna micromanage.
Well, that's-
No, we need to get them going.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to run them every
When
year.
everything, yeah, get everything.
So I'm thinking of doing that, and maybe even pick up a couple of irrigation, but that way we can have it blowing out. When the water does get here, we're ready to go.
I think the quality's pretty good on those wells too, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they need to be run.
That far up, they need to be.
The only thing I won't be able to use the ones on the branch A or the B, because of the construction that's going on the 1D, so, but I'll find ways. The next thing is, with us releasing early, small tracks will practically be every week. And we'll put out the first order, or the first schedule out, George, in case, you know, and, and they're gonna be all the way from, starting the 24th of May, going all the way to July, and the first week of August, and then we can do 9 to about the middle of September, and if you want, if there's room there and still want to continue, we can still fill in the 10th one, and that will take us to the 7th of October.
Nice.
So it's all already there, but it's gonna be every week on the small tracks. The board pack, the concept packages have been made, Cassie and our crew got them all ready, they're ready to be mailed out today. With the indication now of the schedule, I think we can go ahead and pop the schedules in there. We can get the schedules to the girls here in front, because that's one of the biggest calls that we've been getting right now. People wanna know when to schedule, when they can find their vacation. And I guess when they see that they're gonna get water every 2 weeks, it's gonna be kinda nice.
Yeah, it is really going back to normal, I guess.
And the next thing is, like, we're taking return flow. What I'm really thinking of doing here from here on out, anybody that orders, because the chances of me getting them with return flow are gonna be slim and none. I'm just gonna start making them first release.
Okay.
And I'll start giving them May the 15th as the delivery date, and that will be their schedule. And say, these guys, I can't get to you, and this is what it is. I got 6,000 acres you're gonna keep.
Yeah.
So, that's the way it's gonna be. They're not gonna like it, but again, if we're in that area and if we can pick the individual out, we'll pick him out. You know, that's the way we've been doing it.
Okay. Well, you've done a good job, brother.
You've done a good job, Robert.
Yep.
So we'll do it that way and see what happens.
All right.
Okay, any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay. Huh? Okay, that's right. All right, we still got 3 others here. Yes, we do. Subdivision plats.
Okay, the first one is application 3077 for Ranchos Escondido Estates. This is actually an amendment to a subdivision that has been approved. And the amendment, they are adding a 10-foot gas easement, and they added it to the plan.
And engineering reviewed it and
Yes.
everything?
Yes.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve application 3077? Larry moves, Mike seconds it. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. All right, Sharon?
On 3370, we're requesting no action on that item.
No action on 3370?
No action, it's, kind of informative, just, item for you, legal's reviewing it, the MOU.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And we sent it to CBP, Border Patrol, they're reviewing it on their end, and so hopefully next month, we can bring this before y'all to finalize, and we can move forward
Gotcha.
with that.
Gotcha.
MOU. Yes.
All right, good. Sharon?
Next one is 3368 by Smithville Construction. It's a temporary construction license for about 4 months, requesting 4 months. And it is for a storage yard for materials and dirt on the left bank of the Montoya Drain at River Bend Road.
Okay. And again, engineering looked at it and everything's okay.
Yes.
And, all right. Mike made the motion.
I'll second it.
Larry second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, next.
The next one is application 3199. It's for the city of El Paso Water Utilities. It is a dewatering license. They're going to dewater into the Montoya Drain for the El Paso Lockett wastewater replacement project. And engineering has reviewed the application and recommended for approval.
All right. Mike made the motion. Larry seconds. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, next.
The next two are 2 letters of approval under under 2 list license agreements that are existing for the town of Clint.
Others of approval. Okay.
The first one is to reconstruct Venture Road, and they're gonna be crossing the Mesa Drain. The second one is to reconstruct Venture Road crossing the Salitral Lateral.
Okay, and again, engineering looked at all these, and everything's up to snuff?
Yes, and these are just submittals and applications for reconstruction of the actual pavement structure, just the pavement.
There on Fincher Road.
We have applications for water lines and sewer lines and the structure itself, but those are other, they're not on this agenda. So it's just reconstruction of the roadway.
Okay,
I'll make the motion.
very good. Second. Larry made the motion, George seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, let me look. Looks like it is time. That's all the open session we have at the moment. We do want to go to closed session, so at the ready to show, we're going out of open session 11:23. We will come back after we get through with closed session. Bang, bang. Okay.